Hello, everybody. Welcome to At America. My name is James, one of the e-guides here at America, and we welcome our audience members joining us online. We hope that you're doing well and staying safe. At America is the United States Embassy's American Center, and our mission is to provide a space for young Indonesians to learn more about the United States. Today, we will be celebrating Indonesia's Yes Alumni. So, without further ado, let me introduce our MC for today, Kak Hadijah Umini Elsa, Yes 2018 Alumni. Kak Hadijah, the stage is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, greetings of virtue. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? I hope we all are safe and healthy. Today, we are so happy to be here to celebrate our first and ever Indonesian Yes Alumni Association Appreciation Day 2022. We really appreciate your time to be here with us, whether in person or virtually. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Abby. I'm an alumni of the Yes program, and I was hosted in Chicago. I will be accompanying you for the next 2 hours as the master of ceremony. Before we start the event, I would like to give a warm welcome to the Assistant Cultural Affairs Officer for Youth Outreach and Alumni Engagement of the U.S. Embassy Jakarta, Ibu Mary Trishok, the Project Manager at AFS USA, Ms. Nancy Levine, the Executive Directors of Bina Antar Budaya, Ms. Nina Nasution, the Public Affairs Section Staff of U.S. Embassy Jakarta, Ms. Yohana Kristiawati as Emerging Voices Exchanges and Alumni Coordinator, and Ms. Delia Vitananda as Cultural Affairs Assistant for Youth Outreach, and last but not least, to all of our honorable alumni and volunteers across the globe. We are pleased to welcome you all. As we know, in this uncertain period of time, Yes alumni throughout the world, especially Indonesian Yes alumni, have proven their resilience and their strong will to give back to our community through their remarkable contribution. Today, we would like to express our greatest appreciation to the Yes program and, at the same time, celebrate the strength of the Yes alumni Indonesia. This Appreciation Day will be filled with talk show sessions, performances of typical Indonesian arts, and the highlight of the activity is the screening of the IYAA short movie titled Look Back to Move Forward. To start this wonderful event, we are pleased to welcome Kak Muhammad Fatir Arizal with his singing performance, Wonderful Indonesia. To Kak Fatir, the stage is yours.
Kota barunya Bang Mega, Mbak mana disalahkan, Mbak mana disalahkan. Pertama warna adenda mandira jara semalaya, mandira jara semalaya. Sayang sepatokan matiku teko korokan sayang sepatokan matiku teko korokan sayang sajojo you wanam komi sapapani samuna keke Soleram, anak yang manis, janganlah dicium sayang, kalau dicium merahlah pipinya, kampangan jauh di mata, Gunung Sansai Bakuliang takkan ajo kawan kawanan lamu sangke basu yang suliang. Jangir, sing singir, sing sing jangir, sing singir, sing sing jangir. No money, no money, no love, no love, no love for Pusatnya purjang di awang-awang Medir pinjang-jang nabangan kayak karingan Suku narang goas rejong pamatuk nangalu Nampak mega berini bernatarik nyurulu Mana di mana anak kambing saya Anak kambing tuan ada di pohon waru Mana di mana jantung hati saya Jantung hati tuan ada di kampung baru Tak lelo, lelo, lelo ledo Cuk mana, ojo pijar nangis Anakku, sing ayu rupane Dadi pendekare bongso. Thank you.
Wow, what an impeccable performance from Kak Fatir. Now we would like to listen to an opening remark from Ibu Mary Trishok as the Assistant Cultural Affairs Officer for the Youth Outreach and Alumni Engagement of the U.S. Embassy Jakarta. To Ibu Mary Trishok, the time is yours.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Big hello from the U.S. Embassy, and thank you so much, Fatir, for that beautiful performance. That was a great way to start the show. I'm delighted to be here today for the Yes Appreciation Day. The Yes program is one of my favorite programs that we run through the U.S. Embassy, and it's a wonderful time to be able to celebrate that. Let me start with saying a big thank you to Miss Nancy Levine from AFS USA and Ibu Nina Nastuyan, who is the executive director at Bina Antar Budaya. Without Bina Antar Budaya and AFS, we would not be able to run the YES program in Indonesia. So thank you for all of the support that you give to the U.S. Embassy. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank the president of the Indonesia YES Alumni Association, Ms. Callista, for helping to organize this today, and also for all of our speakers, moderators, and performers who are all YES alumni. I will try the names. I apologize if I mispronounce a couple of you. Hasna Naila, Renata Tuaidan, Priya Kartika Apsari, Iza Riswana, and Gusti Ayu Ayindya Trisnanya. Nani? Oh, sulit sekali, ya? Thank you all so much for joining us today to be part of this wonderful performance. Thank you to all of the YES alumni who are joining online and to all of the other non-YES alumni who are just joining in through the Ad America channel today. So the U.S. Embassy sponsors the YES program every year. It is a fantastic opportunity for young high school students to live for a full year in the United States, live with an American family, and experience life at a U.S. public high school. It is a fantastic and life-changing opportunity, I think I can say. It was started after September 11th, 2001. Senator Kennedy and Senator Lugar wanted to create more mutual understanding between the United States and youth from Muslim majority countries. And so they started this program, and it's been a huge success. Every year, over 30 countries participate in the YES program, but Indonesia sends the largest group of students to the United States. Roughly 80 students every year participate. So now in Indonesia, we have almost 1,400 YES alumni. Woo! Which is great. You are changing Indonesia, you've changed the United States, and today is a wonderful time to appreciate you. I want to thank you first for all of the work you did in the United States as ambassadors from Indonesia. You shared Indonesian diversity and multiculturalism. You shared the rich cultural heritage of Indonesia, and you shared just the wonderful experiences and traditions that you brought from the various parts of Indonesia, from Papua to Kalimantan to Aceh. Thank you so much for representing your country and teaching my countrymen, my fellow Americans, about Indonesia. I want to thank you also for taking the knowledge back from the United States and those experiences and sharing them with your communities here and making your communities here in Indonesia richer and more diverse because of what you are sharing. So thank you so much for that. And then finally, I would like to thank all of our YES alumni for being such enthusiastic and energetic members of our alumni community. We have about 36,000 alumni of US government programs here in Indonesia. And I can honestly say that whenever we put out a call for people to join our programs or opportunities for our alumni to create new programs, our YES alumni are always the first in line. So thank you so much for everything that you do. We would love to hear more ideas about programs and things that you would like to do here in Indonesia. We're always here to support you, and we look forward to working with you again in the future. So that's all from me. I'm really looking forward to today. Continue to be the most amazing alumni that we have here in Indonesia, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Mary, for the wonderful speech. Next, we would like to listen to an opening remark from Ms. Nancy Levin as a project manager at the AFS USA. To Ms. Nancy Levin, the time is yours.
Through partnerships with local organizations, with their American host communities and schools, but most of all, the association's commitment to keeping, nurturing, and expanding those connections, even when a pandemic dictated the need to stay apart. So thank you so much to the Indonesia YES Alumni Association for all your efforts, and to AFS Indonesia, the U.S. Embassy in Indonesia, and the YES program for their continued support of alumni programming. Enjoy your well-deserved celebration, and I look forward to hearing about your future activities in 2022. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Nancy, for the warm remarks. As Miss Nancy said before, we have done so many activities during these past 2 years. So hopefully, we can continue to give back to our community and keep our connection. Next, we would like to invite Kak Nina Nasution as the Executive Director of Bina Antar Budaya to the stage to give her opening remark. To Kak Nina, the stage is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Saya masih bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa ya. So I still have goosebumps ya with Kak Fatir's performance and with all the alumni who keep doing the activities, community services, even during this difficult time of the pandemic. Yeah, if we look back during our programs, I am as the Executive Director of Bina Antar Budaya. It is such a great honor for us to be given the opportunity to administer this program since its inception in 2003. And now that we have so many alumni, and they learn from what they have been doing from what they did during their program, especially volunteering. Yeah, and this pandemic is not a problem for them. They proved that even during the pandemic, they still can do something for their communities. That's why we need to appreciate them. And we thank Kak Kalista and all the Yes Alumni, Indonesian Yes Alumni Association for doing this, for arranging this appreciation day. You all need to be appreciated. Yeah. So you all rock. We need more people like you. So please, when you do something, when you do community project, please involve your friends, your colleagues. Yeah. So a lot of more people can do something for the opportunities, for the communities. So hopefully it will be better for Indonesian in general. I look forward to what you will be doing this day. Yeah, and once again, thank you, Ibu Mary and all personnel from U.S. Embassy who have been helping Yes Alumni with all the activities. Thank you, Kak Farhan, and all Binantar Budaya staff who also helping Indonesian Alumni, Yes Alumni Association with all the activities. Yeah, and we hope that you will come with many, many more activities for the communities and also for yourselves. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Kak Nina, for the opening remarks. Because Miss Nancy still has something to say, so we will re-invite Miss Nancy Levine as the project officer at AFS USA to give her opening remarks. To Miss Nancy, the time is yours.
Greetings from AFS USA. My name is Nancy Levine, and I'm honored to give some remarks recognizing the Indonesian Yes Alumni Association. I don't think it's just a coincidence that Move Forward is part of the title you selected, because throughout the past 2 years, as we struggled through the global pandemic, Indonesian Yes Alumni have inspired us to move forward, to take action to help our communities. Within weeks of COVID's first wave in March and April of 2020, the Indonesia Yes Alumni Association had organized COVID relief drives to provide masks and meals to local residents and PPE to frontline medical staff. But they didn't stop there. Alumni were quick to recognize how technology could keep us connected. They adapted and adopted online engagement tools and platforms to develop innovative initiatives such as the Change from Home online workshop series, webinars on diverse topics such as storytelling, public speaking, women's empowerment and volunteerism, the Alumni Pride social media series, online Yes program promotion events that engaged with American host families and peers, and the Exchange the World online summit for International Education Week. All of these demonstrate that the Indonesia Yes Alumni Association recognizes the value of connections. The connections they form with fellow alumni, their own communities, through partnerships with local organizations, with their American host communities and schools, but most of all, the association's commitment to keeping, nurturing, and expanding those connections, even when a pandemic dictated the need to stay apart. So thank you so much to the Indonesia Yes Alumni Association for all your efforts, and to AFS Indonesia, the U.S. Embassy in Indonesia, and the Yes program for their continued support of alumni programming. Enjoy your well-deserved celebration, and I look forward to hearing about your future activities in 2022. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Nancy, for the opening remarks. Now, last but not least, we will welcome Kak Kalista Samagat as the President of Indonesian Yes Alumni Association 2020 until 2022 to give us her opening remark. To Kak Kalista, the time is yours.
Thank you, Kaabi, for the opportunity. Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone who is with us today are in healthy condition. As you guys can see, I'm actually very nervous. First of all, I'd like to express my biggest gratitude to Ibu Mary Trishok, to Mbak Delia, Mbak Yohana, Miss Nancy Livan, Kak Nina Nasution, Kak Gatot Nuradi, and Kak Sari Chakra for your willingness to gather with us today in this wonderful event. To me, the past 2 years have been a roller coaster ride with the Indonesian Yes Alumni Association, as well as the national leaders. We started the period with an anxious feeling as we entered the unprecedented situation due to the COVID-19 pandemic back in March 2020. However, looking back to all those journeys in the past until today, I am extremely grateful to see how far we have come. With the spirit of giving back to the community and paying it forward, throughout 2020 until 2022 today, the Indonesian Yes Alumni Association has done over 14 national projects, funded 12 alumni projects, recorded hundreds of Indonesian alumni's contributions, and impacting more than 7,000 people in the community. These amazing records could have never been achieved and reached without the participation of our beloved and amazing alumni. So to you, kakak-kakak, who have never stopped sending helps to the people around, creating changes around you, working for our better future, we would like to express our biggest gratitude for your endless support and contributions. The movie premiere today is for you to show how much your contribution has affected the people around you. Lastly, to end these remarks, I would like to deeply appreciate my wonderful teammate, kakak-kakak national leaders from our 20 chapters who unfortunately couldn't be with us today in the studio. To the IYAA Appreciation Day team, and especially to Kak Yulianti Seva, Kak Vina, Kak Made Prima Sandia, as the Vice Presidents of Indonesian Yes Alumni Association, period 2020 to 2022, who has accompanied me throughout the journey here. These are the people behind all the national projects, the alumni reports submitted to AFS USA, the alumni opportunities shared, and of course, the updates on our social media platforms. With those amazing skills and experience you have right now, I believe one day each one of you will definitely give an amazing impact for our community. I would also like to say thank you to the volunteer development at Bina Antar Budaya, Kak Farhan, Kak Naya, Kak Leli, and Kak Akbar for your guidance throughout the period. All of these projects would have never happened if it wasn't because of your help. The valuable experience and lessons given will forever be cherished by the national leaders. And lastly, to Kak Ayu Primastuti, Kak Denisa Amelia, Kak Rahmat Hidayat, and Kak Vicky Haryadi, I would also like to express my gratitude to every one of you who have accompanied the national leaders' journey throughout the period. As the leadership period of 2020 to 2022 is coming to an end, I wish nothing but the very best for Indonesian Yes Alumni Association, for Bina Antar Budaya, and most importantly, for our alumni all over Indonesia. To whoever kakak-kakak that will continue the pride and the legacy of Indonesian Yes Alumni Association, good luck, and never ever stop giving back to the community. Thank you very much, and please enjoy the event today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Kalista, for the speech. And like Kak Kalista said, it's time for us to appreciate the alumni who have fostered their will to give back to the community in every way possible. Throughout the year, we have seen numerous projects, initiatives, and also alumni activities being held in which supported the YES mission. Therefore, let's take a moment to watch and listen to the stories and messages from our alumni through IYAA, the movie, Look Back to Move Forward. The story about our strength as YES alumni. The story about paying forward to others. The story about how the spirit of giving back stays in our heart. and the story about the pride and happiness to be part of the YES family. Indonesian YES Alumni Associations proudly presents to you IYAA the movie, Look Back to Move Forward.
Dear Yes Alumni,
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 Dear Yes Alumni.
No one can deny the fact that the past 2 years have been hard and challenging for us. The global pandemic, the insecurity and uncertainty about the future, the loss of the people that we love, the unanswered prayer, and so on. Surely there also must be good things in between. But despite everything, let's start with this question. How are you actually doing? 2 years of COVID global pandemic, and the end has yet far to be seen. We have struggled a lot. Some of us survived, and some of us unfortunately didn't make it. Indonesian YES Alumni Association has been working together with more than 1,000 alumni across Indonesia to make a better world as we promised to do. In these past 2 years, our hearts are happy and touched to see how our alumni are working hand in hand to help the world smile again through their act of kindness. We have heard many stories about you, and through this moment, we would like to thank all of you for loving yourselves and others, for giving, for fighting, for helping, and for also surviving. Starting the year 2022, Indonesian YES Alumni Association would like to send our deepest appreciation to all of our YES alumni, especially in Indonesia, for how strong we are to get to this point. It's not about the big things we have done, but it's about how each one of you values ourselves and our community despite all the hardships. Indonesian YES Alumni Association would like to thank all of the YES alumni, especially in Indonesia, for everything they have done for themselves and for others. We proudly present to you Indonesian YES Alumni Association the movie, Look Back to Move Forward. The story about our strength as YES alumni, the story about paying forward to others, the story about how the spirit of giving back stays in our heart, the story about the pride and happiness to be a part of the YES family.
looking back to move forward means for me is when I'm in my lowest point of my life, I can do all of the things by myself. I know if I face the challenging, I can get through this. I know we in the hard situation, but it's always have the solution. There's always a way to give the solution to solve all of the problem that we face. So yeah, looking back to move forward is when I rethinking again about what I already do, what I already done, and then I can move forward to another chapter of my life.
It is actually means something for me because there's a saying that experience is the best teacher, and I guess it is true, and I believe that it's true. So when I say looking back is try to reflect to what you have done, what have you done in your life, what exactly you did wrong, what exactly you did good, and try to reflect it back to yourself. For what? For moving on forward, to make yourself easier, to make yourself better, and to actually make yourself more efficient than before. And I guess that's what looking back to move forward means.
for me and for all of us to not forget how we got to where we are right now and who have helped us along the way. And I think that it's very, very important for us to reflect back and in order for us to know about ourselves better and so that we can move forward to the next steps or to the future with our best selves accordingly.
For me, it doesn't mean that we haven't moved on from our past. It means that we are learning and we're growing.
Do you know that feeling of excitement when you're ready to go forward, move toward your goals, and ready to face new challenges? It is quite an exciting moment, right?
To me, looking back to move forward means that for us who've had that privilege of tapping into such a great once-in-a-lifetime experience to really take our time in appreciating every single piece of that experience, to truly reflect on each of the lessons learned during that year and use every single one of them as a foundation to give back to the people around us and so ultimately contribute for a better world.
Looking back, my experiences in 2018 and 19 in Oregon was never failed to make me feel blessed and grateful.
I want to thank my host family in Juneau, Alaska for accepting me for who I really am, and I personally want to thank my 80-year-old grandpa. His name is Bruce Hiddle. Thank you so much for still communicating with me. I love you so much.
My absolutely supportive family, my fellow friends, my host family, Bina Antar Budaya, Kelias, and Ayavas that have given me a year of spectacular life. To my parents, thank you so much for letting your spoiled little girl pursuing her dreams abroad, because I'm really sure that I can't pursue any of my ambitions without your support. And to my host family, thank you so much for accepting me, no matter how crazy my schedule was for volunteerings, meetings, or other off-school activities. You were there for me. And I will not forget my American sister. I will not forget my American sister, Ashley. I will not forget my Thai sister, Lizzie. Thank you so much for being my best friend and my best sister. Thank you all.
I am so grateful that I have met such wonderful people in my exchange here, like my host families, the Sullivans or the Karnowskis, and all the other temporary host families who have become such good friends and families to me. And also shout out to Wendy and Barb for being the most committed and amazing AFS volunteers. So me and the other exchange students in Chicago, we could have the best experience that we could have had.
The biggest thank you for my host family. Their kindness and generosity and ensuring that I would have only the best out of my exchange year were truly one of a kind and inspiring. They've allowed me to learn so much about myself and the outside world, and they really helped me to realize how I, as a global citizen, contribute my part for positive changes. And as a matter of fact, my house mom is really the great source of inspiration and motivations to what I'm working on these days, to use art in engaging and so solving parts of the social and political issues that our society is currently facing. Thank you.
So through this moment, I just want to say thank you so much to my host family for the endless love and support. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for accepting me. Thank you for treating me like a part of the family. I hope to see you guys again one day, very soon. And I miss you guys so much. So thank you, and thank you.
What is the one thing that you look forward to every day? I don't know how to answer it, but I always look to help people, I guess. I always try to, find anyone that I know If they need help, I will try to be there. And that's exactly what motivates me each and every day. Yeah, I guess that.
Every day when I wake up, I'm looking forward to figuring out and discovering new things that I can take away from that day. Be it bad or good experiences, small or big things, but I'm pretty sure that every day I always have something to learn about. And I think this is a perspective or a trait that I have gained from my exchange here. Because back then when I was in the US, every day when I woke up, I always got excited, knowing that I'm about to experience something new. And even though it's like a repetitive thing that I'm doing on a daily basis, but I know that each day will bring its own experience. And so I can't wait to learn from the experiences that I have in my life.
Do you know the feelings when you ride a roller coaster? It might feel thrilling, exciting, and all the mixed feelings. That's how I felt during my virtual exchange year. It was so stressful to know that I could not go to the US, but I was so grateful to have the opportunity to meet my host family, American peers, and also other exchange students, even only on my screen. There was a moment when I want to give up on doing all of these virtual things. But when I'm looking back to all the effort and support from my host family, it motivates me to do more and to do best that I could for my exchange year. Here's one of the unforgettable moments that motivates me to keep on going. So on December 2020, my host family took me on the night ride to Hilo on a rainy day to see the Christmas light. It really touched my heart and changed my perspective that even my program was virtual, but I could feel all the love that they gave to me.
I started 2020 with an anxious feeling, and even worse after the pandemic happened. However, despite all the changes, I managed to figure out how to adapt. The challenges faced during these past 2 years have definitely given me something to learn, have taught me how to perceive things in a different way. And I realized that anything is possible, even in a hard situation. Because when there's a will, there's a way.
So my biggest takeaways from the challenges from within the past 2 years is the fact that privilege is real and acknowledging your privilege so that you can utilize it to contribute for a better world is a burden and not impossible at all. So therefore, don't forget to always put yourself in someone else's shoes and give your microphone to those who are voiceless. Because you can always do so much for a better world for every single one of us.
Yeah, we were all facing different kind of challenges for the past 2 years, probably COVID maybe. But you know, what are my takeaways from that? What was different from the past 2 years? I guess I can say my takeaways is we as the human race, we once again we prove that we are the most we are the most adaptable beings in the whole universe. We are the one who can adapt to everything. I mean, you can throw a rock, you can throw probably a meteor right in front of us, and we will still be there. Human race will still be there. We will find a way and just smash the heck out of it. And that's exactly what my takeaway from this pandemic.
Now everyone is facing their own problems, is facing different kind of roller coaster in their life.
So it's very important for us to basically take things one step at a time in order for us to figure out what the next steps we can do in a more strategic and a structured manner.
I guess the answer will be hang in there.
I really hope that with all of the pandemic situation that is going on, I'm hoping that we can still choose to be kind with ourselves and to other people as well. I think it's very, very important for us to be kind to ourselves first, right? try to see what good things that we have in ourselves, and in that way we can also try to think about what ways can I give back to the community around us.
Wherever life plants you, bloom with grace. Just be good to all people. Just be good wherever, whenever, and to whoever.
Dear Yes Alumni, if you see someone without smile, give them one of yours. Show the world the best versions of yourself.
Don't forget to be happy.
Dear Yes Alumni, remember what you're currently doing not only for yourself, but also for others. Remember the goals and dreams that you'd hope to achieve someday. You can still achieve it right now, because there is never time too late for that. Remember that it is also okay if you need to take a break, and after you're fully recharged, then you can go on to continue doing what you love the most. Keep the spirit up.
Don't forget about that you are from Indonesia, and it is actually our responsibility to be able to do something for Indonesia, but at the same time we have to use our knowledge that we got from our experience to make it happen.
And lastly, I would like to thank IAA for all of your hard work. Despite all of the pandemic challenges, I know it has been such strange years with the team the past few years. It was already hard, right, before the pandemic started to become a part of IAA, and it has become much more challenging with the pandemic.
Dear Yes Alumni, I'm so grateful that we right now is one big family, and I hope whatever you do right now is good luck and best of luck. And there's a lot of opportunities that we can do, that we can get, and also I hope we can do a future collaboration in the future to make a bigger impact to our society.
Dear Yes Alumni, for all the things you have done for yourself and for all the good things you have done for your community, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much for taking part in making this world a better place.
You are amazing. Can't wait for having another crossed path with you someday.
Please stay safe.
Keep sane, keep healthy.
Good luck and
Thank you.
Bye, see you.
Okay, oh, what an emotional and meaningful story. And we know that this is not an easy time for all of us, but if we do it together, we will get stronger. Thanks to all of the alumni who participated in the IYAA, the movie project, and I hope you guys are safe and healthy. And next session, there's a talk show session with our alumni, but before that, we would like to invite Kak Iza to perform a traditional dance for us. For Kak Iza, the time is yours. Okay, thank you so much for beautiful dance, Kak Iza. And now we will have a talk show with some of our alumni that will be led by Kak Prilia Kartika Sari. To Kak Prilly, the stage is yours.
Test. Test. Okay, thank you so much, Kebi, for handing over the stage. Okay, good day, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Okay, I hope everyone is doing great because today we are about to listen to inspiring stories from our dear Yes alumni. But before we continue, I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Prilia Kartika Apsari, but I usually go by Pri. I am a Yes alumna, year program 2015 to 2016, and I was hosted in Wichita, Kansas. So, and I'll have the honor to be moderating today's talk show. So today, about today's event, as 2022 began, Indonesian Yes Alumni Indonesia, or IYAA, initiated an IYAA Appreciation Day for all of us, the Yes Alumni Indonesia, as a tribute for their active participation and also contribution to their community in the past 2 years, despite all of the challenges that are occurring due to the global pandemic. And with the theme, Look Back to Move Forward, we are trying to express our gratitude and also appreciation for the YES program for making it possible for us to go to the US to gain lots of experiences and also lessons, and also to celebrate the strength of the YES Alumni Indonesia. So before we officially begin, I would like to welcome both of our speakers today in this great opportunity. Of course, I'm not going to be alone, but I'll be accompanied by two amazing speakers. Here we have our first speaker, Kak Hasna Naila. Kak Hasna Naila, let me introduce you, Kak, to all the audience here. Kak Hasna Naila is a YES alumni, year program 2014 to 2015. And there's also Kak Renata Dewi Sabrina Tuaidan. She is a YES alumni, year program 2020 to 2021. Kak Naya is currently a project leader in Sekolah Cikal, and she's also the founder and president of Bisa Belajar, while Kak Renata is currently studying in Bina Nusantara University and is the founder of Bersama Belajar community. So before we officially begin, of course, I would like to know how our speakers are doing. And maybe you can also tell us a little bit about your current activities. Maybe Kak Naya can go first.
Okay, test. Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Hasna Naila, but I usually go by Da. I'm a YES alumna from 2014 to 2015. I was hosted in Oak Park, Illinois, which is the suburb of Chicago. And like what really has mentioned before, thank you for introducing me. I am currently a program leader at Sekolah Cikal. I'm also an education consultant in this one startup. And I'm also currently leading Bisa Belajar, where we help underprivileged students get access to online learning. So I think that's pretty much it. And if you ask me how am I doing, I think I'm surviving. And I think surviving is more than enough right now. So thank you for the introduction.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the short but really elaborative remarks from Kak Naya. We are going to dive into it further, but next we are going to go to Kak Renata. Kak Renata, please.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Renata Dewi Sabrina Tuaidan, or my friend call me Tata. I'm a YES alumni 2020-2021, and if you know, my program are virtual, but I get my placement on Laupa Huehue, Hawaii in the Big Island. And I'm currently an undergraduate student at Bina Nusantara University, majoring computer science with full scholarship from BCA Bank. And I'm founder of Bersama Belajar. I think that's enough, Kak Prilly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for both of our speakers. Actually, that's more than enough, but we still have a lot of time here, so I'm not going to stop there. But before I continue to the questions about the projects, I'm going to, the more personal and fundamental questions. Okay, so first, as we know, today's event grand theme is Look Back to Move Forward. So I would like to know, what does looking back to move forward mean to you as an alumni and also probably as a person? Maybe we can start from Kak Renata.
Okay, so while people think that look back is some kind like you are not moving on from something that happened in the past, but for me, looking back is a perfect time to reflect how far we've come and make sure that we don't repeat the same pattern as we were. And for me personally, every time I look back, I always ask myself, why do I start this and how do I keep going? And how do I improve myself on my next steps? So let me tell you a little story about why is it important to look back. So during my virtual exchange year, I was shocked to know that I got my program virtual, and I get so tired of virtual things, right? Like I'm doing my high school stuff virtual, and now my exchange year has to be virtual. And actually, it's hard for me and my friends. I believe that they will feel the same thing, but every time I want to give up, I always try to look back to all the support from my family, support from my friend, and for my host family to support me from the beginning. Like they will always make time for me, like to have a weekly meeting, and it's just amazing. Like one day, my host family took me on the night ride to Hilo, as I said on my video. So they took me to Hilo. It is like 40 minutes away from their home, and they took me to Hilo on the rainy day so that I could see the Christmas like on the Home Alone movie, you know it, right? So yeah, my host family took me to Hilo, and I'm so lucky that they did that to me. Like, imagine you are going somewhere far away from your home so that someone you just met could see the Christmas light. Like, you can even Google it, right? You don't need to go to Hilo to let this person sing the Christmas light, but they did that to me. So when I'm about to give up, I always think that all of their sacrifice for me, all of their effort for me, I think it's selfish if I'm stopped here. So that is the importance of looking back, and that's why I want you all to also looking forward. And every time you want to give up, just remember those who support you, because that thing will always remind you to keep on going. So maybe that's enough for me, Kak April.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kak Renata. So I think I highlighted some of the things that Kak Renata has just said, that it is important for us to, to see the past as a lesson learned, and, and she also mentioned about how compassionate her host parents are, even though it's just virtual. Maybe we can't say it's just virtual, because actually virtual is a big thing now, right, due to the pandemic. So I'm going to proceed to Kak Naya. Kak Naya?
Okay. For me, that's such a good question, I think. Looking back to move forward, when I read it the first time, it left me speechless in a way that I never really, I think, understand what it means to look back to move forward. But for me, when I got asked that question again now, I think for me, looking back means like appreciating the people and the things and basically everything that have made us who we are today right at this second. And I think that's really, really important in order for us to know ourselves better, because sometimes I think, especially us, being in our 20s, maybe some of you are still in 18s, not 80s, sorry. You guys are still, high school maybe. But it's very, very important, I think, to know ourselves better. And I think understanding the past, it's always an important tool to know how we can move forward by knowing what our best capability is. So I think that's what I would say. It's a reminder for me personally to not forget the past, and not to be stuck in the past, but to remember it as something that we can take as learning, I think, for the future. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Naya. And there's also one thing that I highlighted from Kak Naya, from the thing that she just said, that we can see the past as a puzzle to solve to go to the next step. So I think it's really important to keep looking back to move forward, so that we know what our person now has become from the past. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next question. Are there any things that actually you look forward to on a daily basis? Maybe things that keep you motivated or anything like that? Maybe we can start from Kak Naya.
Okay. Things that keep me motivated. First of all, I know it's a hard thing to stay motivated in this pandemic for all of us. But for me personally, I'm such a dreamy person, I would say. I do have a lot of dreams that I need to accomplish. Even one of them is I haven't gone back to the United States to meet my host family and friends again.
Yeah.
So that has become one of my dreams, right? That has become one of my dreams, and I think those dreams keep me alive. It wakes me in the morning. You know, like every time I wake up, especially on those hard days, I always think about how, okay, I haven't gone back to Chicago. I haven't met my friends. I haven't got my master's degree yet, for example, right? I have a lot of dreams to accomplish in a lot of aspects, from family, friends, career, academic, even like relationship maybe. So maybe like I want to accomplish those things, and I think that's why I wake up in the morning, and that's what motivates me, I think.
That's really huge, and I think it's everyone's dreams also, almost, right? Okay, thank you, Kak Naya. Next, Kak Renata, would you like to share with us?
Okay, so one thing that keep motivates me every day is that every day is a new chance for us to make a chance. Because like, I will tell you a weird story, but I promise you that you won't believe it. But every time I woke up, I feel like I'm the main character of the movies. And I was like, wake up from the bed, open up the curtain and saying, "Good morning world, new day, new chance." I was like, well, it's kind of weird, but that's what I do for sometimes. Like, so, so I feel like as I face many challenges, as I face many problems, I feel like it's true. Every day is a new chance for you to be the better person than you were yesterday. Like, at least you're trying your best, even though you are not learning something new. At least you be the better person than you were yesterday. And yeah, so I think, and one thing that keep motivates me every day is I want to make all people around me, like my friends, family, to be proud of who am I and what am I doing. So that's just two things that maybe motivates me every morning. I think that's enough, Kap, really. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's also really huge and inspiring coming from all of our speakers today. So I'm going to take us a little bit back to the projects that you've previously mentioned. So I think both of our speakers mentioned that both of them were the founder of an organization that they initiated. So maybe, Kanaya, can you tell us a little bit more about your projects? Maybe it can be about how did you come to realize the urgency of the project? How have you run the project so far? And maybe you can also correlate it with how the pandemic has affected the project.
Okay, so so the project that I initiated during the pandemic, it's called Bisa Belajar, or Able to Learn in English. That's the Indonesian way of saying it. And I started this pandemic with my friend. In the beginning of the pandemic, I think it was in March 2020. We started in March, and it began when, so I've been a teacher for almost 4 years now. And on Twitter, I saw this one teacher tweeting about how she wanted to bring the best teaching experience to her students during the pandemic, right? She wanted to, give like YouTube videos or have a Zoom classes, but apparently she realized that a lot of her students are, they don't necessarily have access to education because, of course, they didn't have phones even to begin with. And so that made me realize about how, apparently, I know in Indonesia, the education is not the best, I will say that we have a lot of problems, but this problem has been more highlighted, I think, during the pandemic. So me as a teacher, right, I felt like, wait, no, this is not how it's supposed to be, right? I want to make something, I want to help something. And so when I wanted to reach out to the person who tweeted that thread, apparently she's also a friend of a fellow YES alumni as well, Kak Dewi. Mbak Dewi, she's also a teacher in Jogja. From 2012, 2013, Mbak Dewi. And so I contacted Mbak Dewi to connect me to the teacher who tweeted that. Actually, that tweet went viral. It went like thousands of likes, I think. So we connected, and starting from there, me and my organization, we've provided access to underprivileged students in at least 11 provinces across Indonesia. We now have more than 300 students.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Thank you. And a lot of our volunteers are also YES alumni as well, actually. So, and we've partnered with a fellow YES alumni organization, Kak Rade, with disabilitas. We send phones to students in Lombok. So I think the YES alumni has really provided me with a lot of opportunities to connect and to expand my organization, so that we could also partner with like international organizations like UN Women and also Plan International as well. So it's a really interesting thing that from such a small project, we started with only 2 people, and now we have all of these amazing people, and that's also thanks to a lot of YES alumni as well. So yeah, thank you all, and those who are watching, maybe I know some of my Bisa Belajar friends are watching, so thank you guys so much.
Okay, thank you Kanaya, and also for all the other Bisa Belajar peeps out there who are watching. I think it's really inspiring, and I'm pretty sure your organization has given such an impact, since we know education area is a very fundamental thing that actually it's very important for all of us without any exception. And I highlighted, you also mentioned about disability, so I think it's very intersectional, the project that you've been doing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and she also mentioned about how YES program has brought us together for a greater good. So I think it's
Big
a really
time.
good thing for, for being a part of YES program. Again, maybe applause for YES program. Okay, next we are going to proceed to Kak Renata. Kak Renata, time is yours.
Okay, so you know that I'm founder of Bersama Belajar, so let me introduce a little bit about Bersama Belajar. So Bersama Belajar is actually an organization that focuses on equalizing education for Indonesian students. And now we are focusing on junior high school students, and we have around 700 students all over Indonesia. Thank you. And we also have 65 volunteers with lots of potentials, knowledge, and willingness to help these students to have a fun and interactive learning session, because we know since the pandemic, some of teachers may not give them the best experience of learning. So we hope that Bersama Belajar could help them to get the fun and interactive learning. And yeah, so maybe most of you asking what makes Bersama Belajar different than other communities. So first of all, we are free of charge, like 100% free of charge, even though sometimes we need money for the operational, like for Zoom meetings or maybe the gift for several activities. But we always tried our best to get to get fund from the donors. And secondly, you know that we are not only giving those students learning about cool stuff, but we also encourage them to have a skill, to have knowledge about things surrounding them. And do you know why we called Bersama Belajar? Because not only those students that get the learning and get the knowledge, but we also want that all the volunteers to develop their personal skills and also their knowledge, so that they could help other people too, even though after that they are not participating in Bersama Belajar. But hopefully, whenever they are, I hope that they could help other people too in a certain things that they are interested. And the third point is that we made our own curriculum, because we know that all of these students came up from a different education background, and it's hard to just make one curriculum that are not suits for most of them. So we decided to create a curriculums. We also made a daily exercises, and we also give them a live teaching session every weekend. And currently we're working on Bersama Belajar Goes to Community. It is a program to visit a certain community around the area, and I want to say thank you for the opportunity to get the open idea submission grant. I'm so grateful that I could get that grant and we could run this program. Thank you so much. And we also going to have an open competition. So for those who have brothers, sisters that are junior high school students, please invite them to join this competition. And we will open the registration tonight. So don't forget to follow our Instagram at bersamabelajar.id for further more information. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak Renata. So I think what I can highlight too from Kak Renata is that Kak Renata and also the other people from Bersama Belajar would like to try to make learning more interactive so that everyone can effectively learn and get the knowledge that they should get, especially during the pandemic. So maybe can you tell us a little bit more how did you come to realize the urgency of the project that you've been doing? Maybe we can start from Kanaya.
Okay, the urgency. For me, because I've been in the field of education for, like what I mentioned, I've been a teacher for almost 4 years. It's always been what is it called? When I observe what education looks like in Indonesia, and especially after looking to America and meeting other international students with the exchange here, I start to analyze like what quality of education means, right? But I think when we think of quality education, high quality education, the first thing that you of course will need to solve is access, I think. Because of course you cannot learn without access, right? So that's what we've been trying to reduce, talking about accessibility. And I think that's how I started to realize how the pandemic has even highlighted even more the need for access, right? Back then, we've heard of stories, of course, about, yes, alumni or AFS returnees who have been teachers or who have been to rural areas to teach. But, since the pandemic, we've seen a lot more struggle in other areas of education. Maybe Kak Renata mentions about curriculum, right? That's one big issue. Accessibility, that's one big issue. So I figured that, hey, all of these things are urgent, right? All of these things need to be solved instantly right away. But at that moment, I thought about what capability can I serve at, and I think that granting access, for me at that time, it became really urgent because that's what I believe. I believe that access is the first gateway for education. So that's what I did. That's how I realized that urgency, I would say.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanaya. Yeah, I think she just highlighted the importance of accessibility in education, since again it's a very fundamental area for everyone without exception. But sadly, there's still a lot of gap in the society and also challenges that are faced in the education field. And next, Kak Renata, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Okay, so talking about the urgency, actually, I think that giving a fun and interactive learning is important because that for me personally, I don't really interest to join a class that are so text or maybe so boring. So I decided to think that fun and interactive class are important. Like, that when I'm starting bersama belajar, I ask these students like, are you actually interested on study and learning? And they answered yes. Like, well, actually, all the Indonesian students are interested on learning, but they don't have the resources, they don't have the fun class that could support them. So it seems like they just stuck in the same place. So I think that is the urgency of our education things. Okay, I guess.
Thank you. So I think what I can highlight from what Kak Renata just said is also about the platform and also the capabilities of the teachers itself on how to make the learning process is actually interactive and also interesting. So I think I've gained lots of knowledge actually being a moderator here. So I hope the audience are too. So next I'm going to jump into the next questions. I think it's a very obvious topic to be talked about since we've been in this phenomenon for about 2 years-ish now. It's kind of an elephant in the room now, but not really because it's really obvious. Okay, I'm going to talk about, we've been in the pandemic for about 2 years now. Maybe would you like to share with us if there is any impactful or significant changes that you've faced throughout this pandemic, and maybe you can also tell us about how you have been coping with them?
Significant changes. Well, there's a lot. There's a lot in every area of our lives, I think. Especially for me, particularly because I graduated right at the beginning of the pandemic. So I began my job search when everything was collapsing. It's really hard because my family is not really that privileged, of course. But also in that moment, I was also taken aback by how the local communities around me, like we're helping each other. And that's really, really amazing. As much as I believe at the back of my mind, I know that it's actually the government should do it for us. I believe it's in the responsibility of the government. But I was so taken aback by how my friends, my fellow YES alumni, my friends from college, my friends from everywhere basically, they started like collecting PPE for the medical staff. They started collecting food, for example. And so I thought like, hey, actually, I think I can do something here. I cannot bear the thought of, I know I said before, like my family is not that privileged, but I know I do have a lot of privilege. Like going to America, that's a huge privilege for me. So I want to somehow, what is it called? How do you say it? I want to somehow like try to see in what areas can I help. And one of them is, of course, because my background is in education. So I thought, hey, I think I can solve a little bit of two here in education. And so if you ask me like what significant changes, I think in a lot of ways, but yeah, in that sense of community solidarity, I think this pandemic has really, really given us a spotlight on that, I think. And especially for me, I think how I cope with that is also by reaching out, of course. I've been so grateful that the YES alumni and other, maybe Binabut as well, the Binabut people has given me so many strengths through various occasions. Like what I mentioned before, a lot of the volunteers are also YES alumni and all of those stuff. So it's been really, really, what is it called? Great, I think, to be able to, be together, I think, in this hard time. And I think that, I don't think that we would have been here physically. I didn't think in 2022 we were, I literally thought this pandemic would be until like 2030 or something. Like I literally
hopefully
thought,
not.
Yeah, hopefully not. And I'm glad that, it's getting better now and we could be here. So I think the solidarity, I think that's one thing that I could highlight, I think, from the pandemic situation.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanaya. I think it's important for us to highlight that everyone faces difficulties, but we should acknowledge that there are privileges that some people actually might not have, and it's important for us to lift each other up, especially in the areas that we can jump into. Okay, thank you so much, Kanaya, for sharing. Kak Renata, the time is yours.
Okay, so I think the biggest change during this pandemic, of course, the virtual program. Like, dang, I never thought that I will go to the virtual things because I think that going to the America with this scholarship is the only chance that I could go to other countries. So because I come from the modest family and I think that this is the only chance I have. But yeah, things just happen and we have to keep on moving. So the biggest change is that virtual exchange. And without that bad things happen on 2020, I don't think that I could start Bersama Belajar. I don't think that I could sit here with all of you. And I think, how do I cope this problem, especially about the virtual things and about Bersama Belajar, all my school stuff. The only thing that I can do is just, let me think. For me personally, is just keep on going because that's the only thing that we can do. And no matter how hard it is, you have anyone else to help you. And as I said before, just think that every day you will get a new chance to learn something, and I believe that it will motivate you too. I think that's enough, Kapi, really.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Renata, for sharing with us. I think I also highlight about how Kak Renata shift the perspective about the difficulties from global pandemic that we've been facing into something that she can take lessons from, and she actually works something out of it. So I think it's very important, it's a very important value for all of us to keep moving forward despite all of the challenges. So I'm going to go next into the next questions. So based from what I've heard all throughout this discussion we had, I've noticed that both of you are into volunteerism and also activities that are give back to community type of thing. So I'm wondering, how have you maintained and also strengthened your spirit of volunteerism despite all the challenges that are occurring due to the global pandemic? Maybe from Kanaya?
Okay, thank you so much that's such a good question, because I think I did have the privilege of being exposed to the volunteer culture. I think the United States has this strong volunteer culture. I would say it's not maybe in Indonesia we don't. I don't think it's that. I don't know. I mean, I haven't had any deep analysis on this, but I think if you'd ask me about how the pandemic has shifted the whole volunteerism feeling, I would say that actually, since the pandemic, my volunteerism feeling has actually increased. That's for me personally, because I could actually connect to a lot of volunteers throughout Indonesia. Like in Bisa Belajar, we have volunteers from Aceh to the eastern part of Indonesia as well, in Makassar, in northern part, in the western part as well. So it's really, really cool to see how we can stay connected despite everything. And we also bonded virtually, right? So I think for me personally, my spirit of volunteerism, it actually has increased because of those virtual opportunities. But I know there's also a lot of challenges in terms of volunteerism that I also see, because of course in Bisa Belajar, we're also managing volunteers, right? And the volunteers, actually most of the volunteers that I have never met any of them because we started during the pandemic, and we've been working together for almost 2 years now, but most of them, 80% maybe, I have never met them in real life. So I think that also gives us big challenges in terms of coordination maybe between the volunteers. So maybe their spirit of volunteerism somehow can decrease. But overall, I would say the fact that the pandemic has given us opportunities to be connected, I think that's a huge thing that can uplift my volunteerism spirit, I would say.
Thank you so much, Kanaya. So actually, the pandemic doesn't hold you back from doing volunteerism.
I just love doing volunteering.
You just love it. Okay, that's really nice, Kanaya. Thank you. Karenata?
I think my answer will be similar with Kanaya because I think that virtual, even though it's pandemic and we need to do all the things virtually, but I don't think that they have any difference. Like we can still help other people by virtually, like yeah. And for me, the only thing that could maintain my strength with this volunteerism, I'm so happy to see other people happy, and I'm so glad that I could help other people. Especially during this pandemic, I realized that many people need our help, and I do realize that I have the potentials to help them. Like I didn't mean to like that, but I believe that when we have a potentials, don't let your potentials benefits you only. Just share it with other people, share it with all the people that need it, or maybe you can encourage them to do the same thing as you. And yeah, that is how I maintain my strength on the volunteerism. Thank you, Ka.
Thank you, Karenata. So I think I can highlight that you are again trying to shift the difficulties that people are facing now due to pandemic into something useful. You can use it as a chance and opportunity to keep moving forward and also helping more and more. Okay, thank you, Karenata. So I'm going to ask the next question. So since we are all here actually YES alumni, and I'm really glad that we can be sitting here together and meeting all the other YES alumni, can you maybe, I want to take us back a little to the moment where we went to the US. Yeah, and also when you went to the program through virtual. Maybe can you tell us a little bit about your exchange year and maybe what was the most memorable thing that happened during the exchange year?
Okay. Oh wow, my exchange year, it was 7 years ago, but it felt like yesterday. There's a lot of memorable things. A lot. Both bad and good days. Sorry. I think I mentioned before, like I switched host families several times due to several circumstances. But that doesn't stop me from getting a lot of wonderful experiences. I think one of the most memorable one I would say was, well, in my head there's two actually. The first one was when it was my farewell from Chicago. So I just got back actually from a road trip to Tennessee. We did what is it called, like a community service. From Chicago, we drove south to Tennessee, and then when we got back, my host families did a farewell party for me, and everyone was there. I know at that moment everyone was tired from like a 7 days road trip, but for them being there until even late at night, and they helped me pack for the flight in the morning, it literally made me think about how precious the experience was. So that was the first moment. And the second one is, I think, so Chicago is actually a very, very diverse city. You can see a lot of Muslims there, actually. So I was not the only Muslims in the school, and it was such a big, big school. Oh, that's my picture there.
Actually, we have pictures on the screen.
There, on the last
adorable.
one, that's the picture with my art history class. In Chicago is also well known for its art as well, for the Art Museum of Chicago. Anyway, so I was not the only Muslim in the school, and there was a teacher called Miss Jaber. She is a math teacher, and she was very, very kind. She actually gave me this hijab, the hijab that I'm wearing right now, for Ramadan. So, so she was very, very sweet, and it made me realize about how we can stay connected to our beliefs regardless of who we were. You know, so it's a wonderful experience to be in the U.S. I think that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanaya. I think it's really adorable, all the pictures here up on the screen. Okay, and next, Kak Renata.
Okay, so let me tell you about my virtual exchange year. So there was a moment when I invited my virtual peers. We decided to make a fried noodle, you know, that Indonesian fried noodle. But my peers using broccolis as the vegetables, which uncommon for Indonesians, right?
The American version.
I know, like, she used broccoli as the vegetables, and I said that, is it taste good on the fried noodle? Like, really? Like, she said, yes, it tastes good, and I just like, oh, okay, enjoy your fried noodle.
It's healthy.
Yeah, and another thing is, I invited my host family to play a quiz, and one of the question is, I'm asking about my third sister. They know that I actually only have two sisters in Indonesia. Like yeah, I only have two. And why do I? And when I ask them about please name my three sisters, like they are confused. Who's the third? Like, who is it? Like, and then when I tell them the answer that the third sister is my host sister, they got really touched and their face are changed. Like, oh my God, it really touched my heart. Like after that session, my host sister always texts me, like she sent me lots of pictures, and because of that quiz, and I'm so grateful for that moment. And one thing that I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to be the Yes Student of the Month from American Council. and I think that is the biggest achievement that I get during my virtual exchange year. And thank you for the American Council for that opportunities, because of that it motivates me to do more and more every day. So yeah, I think that's the moment that I could share, but promise me that every meeting is wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much, Kak Renata. I think, you know, it opens our eyes more that even though the program was virtual, it's still, you know, very impactful and also memorable. I think that's really awesome. And next, we're actually about to go to the next session, which is the Q&A session, okay, to the speakers. Okay, I'm gonna see if we have the question here. I think I still haven't seen any questions up in the list. Okay, so I think we haven't had any questions. Maybe we can go back to some of the questions that I actually haven't asked to the speakers, because I'm keeping it for the last one. Do you have any messages for the Yes alumni?
Okay, message. I've always been amazed with how the Yes alumni are contributing in even the smallest aspect of our lives. I think no matter what we're doing, even if you feel like you're not achieving much or something, but I am so thankful that we got the opportunity to be connected as Yes alumni, and I think that's really important. So thank you so much for all the Yes alumni everywhere in the world for your contribution in the smallest way, as simple as waking up in the morning. You know, that's one big thing. So yeah, thank you so much basically for staying still and surviving until this day. And I cannot wait for us to go back to the United States soon.
Amen to that. Thank you, Kanaya, for the awesome messages. Kak Renata, please.
Okay, so for me is that I want to say happy yes Alumni Appreciation Day to all of you. I'm so glad that I could be part of this association. I'm so glad to be here. And one of the message for me for all of the yes alumni is that you are a superhero. Like it's still hiding somewhere inside you, but the only thing to know that is by knowing your potentials, knowing your strength, your no weakness, and use all of these things to help other people. You don't need to be you don't need the ability to fly, you don't need no any ability to throw things like Elsa, like yeah, you don't need all of these things, but as long as you have willingness inside you, please share all your potentials to other people, because I believe that lots of people wants to be you, wants to learn how you do things and how do you overcome all your problems. So just share anything that you can, just give back to your community, because who you are today is because they are all supporting you.
Thank you so much, Kak Renata. Mungkin next, I'll have some other questions too, actually, regarding the exchange program and year. What do you think you have learned about yourself so far, and what have made it the person that you are today?
Okay, learnings. I think learning is a lifelong process. Until today, I keep on learning every day. I kept learning from all of you. I kept learning from Kak Fatir how to sing, even though I can't sing, maybe. But
Cheers to
yeah,
Kak
I mean,
Fatir.
yeah, there's a lot of things that we can learn from other Yes alumni. So I think learning is every day. But if you ask me about how my exchange year has shaped me, how I am today, I think it really, really showed me what resilience means and what strength means. I was back there alone. Well, I was not the only Indonesian in Chicago at that time, and especially in Indonesia, in Chicago, they have the what is it called, the consulate, Consulat KJRI in Chicago. But of course, I was with my host families and all the Americans there all the time, right? So I was alone. And during that time, like what I mentioned before, it wasn't always all rainbows and sunshines and all that. I got a lot of bad days. I had to switch host families several times as well. But actually, all of that makes me a better person and makes me a stronger person. And it also makes me learn about how to maintain communication, right? Like what I mentioned before, even though I switched host families several times, but I actually still got connected to all of them, right? Even like the first host family that I mentioned, they were the one actually who hosted the farewell party for me, even though I've moved from houses to houses after I went to their house. So it's very, very cool about how all the bad experiences that I've had, or even the good ones, they taught me how to be strong, I think, and how to be resilient. I know resilient is such an overused word, I think, in the pandemic. But I think the YES program itself, it's really, really taught us as a 17-year-old kid from Indonesia going to the United States. It was as also our first times, maybe, right? Going abroad, right? I think it was your first time as well, right, Prilly? Yeah, this Prilly is actually my my high school friend. She she graduated from the same high school as me, so I still remember like you, right, coming to me and ask me like how America is, and you know, as your senior and stuff. So it's a really, really cool opportunity that we could go there by ourselves and experience all the things by ourselves, discovering things. And so that makes it all worthwhile. And even in the virtual thing, I believe, with all the challenges, oh my God, I don't have any words about how I can appreciate you guys, I think, Renata and all the other YES batch. For you guys, it's so amazing to have it virtual. You guys are all very, very strong and resilient people to go through all of that. And especially Renata, even though she hasn't been to the US, where volunteerism maybe is such a big thing there, right? But you've maintained a strong initiative, so I think that's really cool, Renata. And thank you for the YES alumni as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanaya, Kak Renata.
I'm sorry. I'm forgetting some words. Can you repeat the question?
It's okay, I know. It's okay. So what have you learned about yourself from the exchange year, and maybe what it has made you the person that you are today?
Okay, same as Kanaya said, resilience is important because I heard that word so many times during my exchange year, like, be resilient, like, okay. and another thing that I learned during my exchange year is to managing my expectations, because we all know that all of my friends are so ready to go to the US. Like, we've prepared so many things. Even most of my friends already bought the entire things like winter coat and those stuff. But yeah, managing our expectation is important, because I always remember what Bina Antar Budaya said, that we cannot say you are going to the US until you sit on a plane.
I always remember that.
Yeah.
True.
But that means that you have to be in the plane in the next years, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, Kanaya. But yeah, me and my friends always wondered, is there any certain reason why do Bina Antar Budaya keep saying that? Because we don't know, is there any worst possibility that could happen? And now we know why. COVID has been affecting the whole program. And yeah, so managing the expectation is important. And now for me personally, I don't think that I expect too much on everything, because once your expectations not happen, you will get down so deep. And yeah, so maybe that's I learned, managing my expectations and be resilient.
Thank you so much, Karenata. And okay. So actually, thank you so much, Karenata. I think I also agree with Kanaya that, you know, all the people, all the exchange students from your batch that couldn't go due to pandemic are very resilient. I'm sorry, I used that word again, but it's
not
true.
a bad word though.
Yeah, it's not a bad word.
really
It's just
good word
overused,
actually.
kind of. But you know, it's very amazing and very thoughtful of you guys to keep, you know, to stay motivated even though you're not going. But and still, you know, still very excited meeting all the host parents and also host friends. So yeah, I think I've learned a lot from these two speakers right here. So actually we have some questions up on my list. So I'm gonna proceed into those questions. Okay, so we have 5 questions actually, but due to our time limit, maybe we're just gonna be having 2 questions. Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna be having 4 questions. Okay, so the first question is from Kak Riyadi. Okay, thank you, Kak Riyadi. I'm sorry, I think it's from Kak Deo Dwi. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. The question is, what can you learn or experience by joining YES program instead of other exchange program? Maybe maybe we can start from Kanaya now.
I've only the first thing is that I have never been on other exchange program other than YES. I mean, I did, but it was during my college year to Singapore. But if you ask me what's the difference, I think what's amazing with the YES program is, I think looking back at the history of the YES program itself, right? To make, I still remember the first time I got introduced to the YES program. It was because, basically the American government, you know, they want to strengthen the diversity of America, and they want to also introduce the mostly Muslim populated countries, right? To basically tell after the 9/11 incident that how Muslims were not terrorists, I would say, right? Those people. So I think that's what differentiates it with the other program, is that it has a mission. And it's also open for countries that are Muslim populated countries, even though the ones who go there are not necessarily Muslims. But I think the fact that we're all we have the similarity of being Muslim. I think that's what makes it different. It signals about how our solidarity can actually make the world diverse, actually. So I think, that's what makes it different. I think I don't think I can say the other exchange. I have a lot of, I have some names in my mind, but nanti promosi ya kita. That will be like promoting other exchange programs. But yeah, I think that's the difference, is how the history and the mission behind the program.
Thank you so much, Kanaya. Yeah, I think we can't really make comparisons because it's not our place to do that. But one thing she highlighted is about the mission that the YES program actually brings. And next, Karenata.
For me, I think that one thing, I don't even join any other exchange program, but I think what makes us different is that we have a strong boundaries, and we have a strong relation with other exchange students, not only from Indonesia, but we also make friends with other students from Turkey. We also make friends with other students from Bangladesh, and I think it's great. Like the relationship that we built, the communication that we built is amazing. Like I don't think that other exchange program over that too. And yeah, and after that, after the program, the YES exchange is still supporting us on being the change maker that we want to see in our society, and I think that's great.
Thank you so much, Karenata. So we still have some other questions, but due to our limit, maybe I can just read it all through, and maybe you can just answer it in short, maybe. I'm sorry to all the speakers and also to all the audience. I was going to say passengers. I don't know why I said passengers. Maybe it's a signal that we are about to fly.
Her mind is in the flight to the United States, so that's why she said passengers.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is from Riyadi, and the question is, she or he said, I'd love to join exchange program, but how do we adjust with US culture? So this person asked about that, and there are some other questions also regarding they want to start a project but don't know how. So maybe you both can tell us some advices and also suggestions on how to do that. Thank you.
Okay. Should Renata go first?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Renata, please.
Okay. So I cannot answer the first one because I'm not going to the America. But I think the only thing that we can adjust the American culture is that just be respect and always be curious on something. Like that's the only thing that I could share maybe. And for the next one is about why do I start a program, and for me myself, the only thing that you need is courage and willingness. That's the two important things. Like when you have courage, you also need your willingness to do this program from the beginning until its end someday, I don't know. And once you want to have an idea to help other people, just go with it. Just go and try. Because we don't know what will happen in the future until you try it. Like, I don't know that Bersama Belajar will have 700 students all over Indonesia, but yeah, just do all the best that you could. Just start it now. Just start it today. Even though your idea might not be that ready, but just start it now. Because once you think that you cannot do it, it will stop you from doing all your ideas and thoughts. I think that's enough for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Karenata. Next, Kanaya.
Okay, with the cultural differences, I think for me is to keep an open mind. I think keeping an open mind is really, really important. And I think actually with the YES program, the Bina Antar Budaya has actually prepared very, very cool orientation program. So right before we departed to the United States, we got a lot of classes, how to prepare ourselves with the cultural shock, cultural differences. So thank you, Bina Antar Budaya, for preparing all of that great
YES program.
I'm missing those times of preparing the orientasi, right? Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, keep an open mind and don't worry that you have a lot of support system if you have culture shocks, basically. Regarding the second question about how to actually create a project, and I agree with Renata, you need courage and willingness, because for me myself, I've always wanted to create a project since God knows when. I never had the courage, I never had the willingness until I did. And then another thing that I would add is also to grab a friend. Even just one friend would help you a lot. You cannot change the world alone. That's one thing that I think we can take away as well. You cannot change the world alone, so you do need other people, right? So if you can have someone who have the same mission, who share the same passion with you, I think that it'd be great to ask them to create the project with you. I think it will be such a help. For me, I started with one person, and now we've grown to dozens of volunteers across Indonesia. So yeah, start with one even. It's such a small step, but it leads to big differences.
Okay, thank you so much, Kanaya, and also Karenata. I think I still have a lot of questions in my mind, but due to our time limit, we still today actually this marks the end of the talk show that we're having today. Thank you so much to our dearest speakers, Karenata and also Kanaya, for sharing with us a lot of things actually in this short 1 hour. And I hope today's talk show can bring us lots of new experiences and also perspectives, and hopefully can bring us new motivation to maybe do projects to give back to the community, and also probably to also participate in exchange program, hopefully the YES program or AFS maybe. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'm giving back the stage to Kaebi, our dearest master of ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Prilly, Kak Naya, and also Kak Renata for the very insightful talk show. It brings back so many memories and also motivation for us to start our own project. So we hope that it could recharge our energy to give back to our community. Next, we will have another dance performance from Kak Gusti Ayu Anindya Trisnani. For Kak Nina, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Wow. What an incredible performance from Kak Nina. And this performance marks the end of our event today. One more thing for all the YES alumni, Indonesian YES Alumni Association is also currently opening for new national leaders. Be sure to check your email and also our post on Instagram. So thank you so much for all the participants who are here with us throughout the event. And we really appreciate your time. And on behalf of Indonesian YES Alumni Association, we would like to send our highest appreciation to each of you in making this possible. I'm Abby, and it is such an honor for me to be the MC of today. Thank you so much, and see you on another occasion.
All right, thank you so much to our speakers, Hasna and Renata, our performers, Gusti, Muhammad Fatir, and Itza, along with our MC Abby and our moderator Prilia for today's very important discussion and performance. Now, you may be wondering, how could I develop an awesome idea for a place like this? It's very easy. All you need to do is go to our website at www.atamerica.or.id. Select Create a Program and click Collaborate with Us. All event proposals coming to us will be reviewed and your event might be featured here soon. You can also subscribe to our newsletter for all our weekly updates. And that's it, folks. That wraps this episode. It's been fun, but we have to say goodbye for now. Follow our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at @ATAmerica for our fun contents, event updates, and so much more. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. My name is James, and we'll see you at the next At America TV episode. Goodbye.